world throws at you day by day, you have to cope with. Then you've got the next day. But you don't think, oh God, this is going to go on forever. I mean, that would be soul destroying, surely. You just look at it, it's another day. What more can I do? How can I get this over? But the big thing that really plays on my mind, if you want to get deep into my mind, is this. How? How can this possibly be covered up for such a long period of time? How can it possibly be?
Prove to me that you are alive.
Last question on this topic. When you had the marches and everything, and you're saying that you're seeing, you know, British flags and everything, are you finally having a feeling like the country's coming together again?
That's an interesting question. I mean, yes and no. I mean, that sounds a terrible thing to say, but yes, because from the point of view of the English people are there. But if we're seeing is the English people, the Islamics, and all the other members of society walking as well in the same protest, wouldn't that be something?
I got you. Okay, so let's again. You know, we're gonna get the technical stuff figured out, so I can have you back. You can be back anytime. You know, your family, man. So back to your mission, man. The most important thing at hand. What were there any sort of things that you remember that maybe you wanted to say about Void the Warlock? And I'm gonna remind you that you did point out to me, and it did finally click in my head that it was extremely strange because the man did not talk to you. The man did not obviously, you know, get in touch with you. And yet he was coming out with all of these sort of things that he made look like they were factual things, which, you know, are crazy. So is there anything that you remember that you wanted to add to our last episode?
No, to be honest, I think that responding to somebody like that is a complete waste of time. I've reached out to him on Twitter. I've looked on his YouTube channel. He's got an email address there. I've reached out to him on that. I've left comments on his video. Doesn't respond to any of it. Yeah, nothing at all. The man clearly has an agenda. Leave him with it.
Right. Yeah. So this is why I think it's important, because you know, you're right on one side from you know, on your behalf. It doesn't make sense trying to prove someone wrong. You know what you know. You know what you have lived for the past 7 years. But to the people watching, you know, to the people following, to the people wondering, it's good to kind of clear the air, especially when it comes from you. My question, and this is more of like trying to get your opinion, who do you think could possibly be behind someone like a Void the Warlock for them to have a sense in even, you know, combating what you've been doing, or, you know, trying to create their own narratives, like, and all the way in America so far? Because I know you thought about this. Like, why do you think someone would do something like that?
Now, here's the thing. Void the Warlock isn't his name, so no idea who it is. To my mind, he is deliberately pushing forward a narrative that he would know it was untrue as he's saying it. He's missing all the facts, everything that's been established, everything that can be proven. For instance, the big one, well, one of the big ones, was the guy next door, Mustafa Bimboga, convicted of rape at gunpoint and attempted child molestation, and he was sentenced to 12 years. Not mentioned at all. Some of the references to death that's I've recorded, Dave's recorded, the others have recorded, not mentioned at all. He totally skirted over the story and made out that I was old, which I am. But it's like, No, that guy has done it on purpose. Now, this is the bit that I don't get, and I think this might be the important bit, is he's in America. So I think the question has to be what the American connection with all this is.
That's why I was asking you what I was asking you, what your opinion is of, like, how and why exactly, because from the very first times when David got in touch with me about this, and then we connected, I've kind of been standing by the fact that I think that this is an international thing. This feels like an international thing. I'm someone that has gone around the world, like, so this feels like international. But again, like, someone making a video like this, it kind of proves the point that this is much bigger than we all could have imagined, right? It's like they're kind of putting themselves in the forefront, purposely or unpurposely, and they're basically putting themselves out there and saying that, look, we have someone over here that is possibly connected to this. Are you thinking that far, or am I going crazy?
No, you're not going crazy. I mean, we're presuming one thing, of course, that the YouTube channel, although it is in America, and although she says it's in America, we're presuming that it actually is in America. I mean, it could just be somebody in the UK that set it up. I wouldn't know.
That's a good point, man. I do have to say one thing, that me knowing YouTube and the way it works and the money that I spent into it, the videos were done professionally. For one person to do something like this and to go through all that research, it would take a long time, and then to put it together. But to get it out in front of the people that it has gone in front of, there had to be ad campaigns created. Like, a lot of times we think that, oh, it's just luck, or the way the algorithm, the way the mathematics have developed on YouTube. There's like 3 million videos that get uploaded every single day. So now it's much more than luck. For a video to get that many views, it had to be worked on, it had to be pushed in front of people. So someone was making an effort to actually, push this video in front of people. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I used the same words that he used. I used more or less the same title. So I called it the Aberford Incident Part 2, just in case they watched the first one, they could hear ours as well. And I can't remember what mine got, but it got nothing by comparison to his or hers. So somebody paid for the ad campaign. The interesting thing is, if it ever comes out, is the cost of the ad campaign will appear on somebody's bank statement.
Yeah. Well, see, now it's interesting because there are third party companies that are able to, create different campaigns. And what I'm trying to say is that the money trail is not as evident as it would be. Um, I don't want to keep you here for too long. So this is what I really wanted to ask you, and if it's too personal, you let me know. Uh, what I want to know is, Alan, and I think this is important, and I think we kind of skip over this a lot of the times. Um, what has the emotional, the spiritual, and the mental side of this battle for you and your wife has been for the past 7 years? What has that been like? If you could just please kind of take us into your headspace, you can take your time. I'm here. I really want to hear, because I think we are missing the whole thing, that you are a living human being that one day woke up into this situation, and you could have ran the other way, you could have closed your eyes, you could have turned your back, but you faced the situation. You are still facing the situation, and you don't even know the outcome. It's not like someone would tell you, well, look, there's a rainbow at the end of the trail, whatever the path, like, this is the goal that you are going to. You are kind of waking up every day, and you're facing this head on without even knowing what the outcome will be. So again, what has this been like for you emotionally, spiritually, mentally for the past 7 years?
I think the reason it's hard for people to explain is it's easy to say 7 years. Of course, it has been. It's actually been more than 7 years. But on day one, Okay, you don't think there's going to be a day two. The police are going to get involved and just sort it all out. But I mean, it didn't happen that way. Initially, really, really strong gas was introduced, and it was just, we decided to get out of the house. It was the best thing to do. We actually snuck back into our own house when we put those recorders in. At one point, we didn't have anywhere to live at all. We were living in the back of a car. So you think of a little car, hatchback, mattress in the back. We had a few hiding places. And that's what we did. But each time we were reporting back to the police, we were reporting to other people as well, from newsagents to anybody you can think of, members of parliament. I even petitioned the European, what do they call it? The EU government. What do you call it? I can't remember what it's called. But that was thrown back at me as well. But I mean, I've reported it to the NCA, everybody. At one point, we ended up in accident and emergency after being gassed. But the thing about this is what I'm trying to get over. Yes, it's not nice, I get that. But you have to cope. Yeah? Whatever the world throws at you day by day, you have to cope with. Then you've got the next day. But you don't think, oh God, this is going to go on forever. I mean, that would be soul destroying, surely. You just look at it, it's another day. What more can I do? How can I get this over? But the big thing that really plays on my mind, if you want to get deep into my mind, is this. How can this possibly be covered up for such a long period of time? How can it possibly be? Because I mean, I've put the documentation out that actually shows that the police say, oh, we can't hear the noises, there's nothing that gives us a concern and things like that. When the average person says to me, whoa, there's something wrong there. But it's not one policeman or two policemen, it's many policemen. And it's not one police force I've sent it to. I mean, we've sent those things to, I don't know, I've lost track, half a dozen police forces. I've got a big pile of post office receipts here, which I'll photo and send to you if you want, of different people I send it to, even a baroness, some lords, people like that, of that sort of ilk. And we don't just send them a letter, we send them a USB stick with all the recordings on and things like that. How can so many people cover it up? Yeah, it's a crazy thing. As for getting back into my head, if you want to understand me, I think, in my case anyway, I shut it out. I have to shut it out. I'm dedicated to it, yes, but if I started to think what those noises actually represent, I don't think I'd be able to listen to them anymore. And there's still lots of them that we haven't listened to. And people don't get it. If you listen to a 5-hour recording, you might understand this. To go through it over and over again probably takes about 25, 30 hours just to get the little snitches of audio, because the audio is not there all the time. I don't know whether it's somebody opening the door or a trap door or whatever it is, but you'll get a bit of audio, then it'll go quiet again. And it takes ages. But it's not just that. Dave will tell you the same. We've got so many recordings, you just couldn't go through all of them. There's still some we haven't been through now. We've got some very clear ones of what appears to be an illicit lab. I should really have concentrated on that, but I didn't. The ones that concern me, of course, were the ones of the children.
I don't know. I'm gonna be rude right now and say that you got to be deaf or you got to be something. And I don't mean no pun to like deaf people, but when you hear these recordings, and especially the recordings, again, you just said you have to go through hours and hours of these things to pick out the recordings that we all heard. These are unmistakably, like, there's no, I don't know if you have to be from another planet to not hear that these are children in distress. There are recordings that are saying no, there are recordings saying please no, there are recordings saying you killed him, there are recordings, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now just replaying it back in my head. I mean, this is unmistakably, this is not children far away in a playground and they're messing around and they're playing, I don't know what, like what a kid will not be playing this. this is clearly children in distress. I'm a very big empath. When I was listening to those recordings,
Prove to me that you are alive.
not only do I hear that at this instance this child is in distress, I can hear that this child has been in distress. Like, this is a not normal, happy, go around child that all of a sudden is having these moments. You can hear that these are withered, you know, beat up, tired children that are saying these horrible things, man. um I know you're like, you have this warrior spirit. I got to know you, man. A lot of times, not a lot of times, always, you don't complain. You're one of these people, you don't complain. And I don't want to hear you complain. I just really wanted to hear, you kind of portray to us what this really has been like, because I don't know if we can, if any one of us can even imagine what this has been like. But if you want to talk about it, you can talk about it. But this is what I want to ask you: what keeps you going, Alan? What gets you out of bed every day and keeps you going, man?
I suppose that comes down to the children haven't got a voice. If I don't give them one, I mean, what can you do? Can you walk away from something like that? I don't think most people could.
Um, someone like you, right? At some point, do you have to look for something higher than yourself in order to get that strength to keep going?
It's an interesting one. I mean, obviously, what I've discovered is evil. The opposite side of that is there must be higher strength. Um, but here's the thing: something needs to happen. Whether it's people, whether it's a god, whatever it is, something needs to happen. This needs to have a conclusion. My mission, if you like, is to get justice for those children, but not just that. It's all to stop the perpetrators who, let's face it, aren't going to stop unless somebody stops them. So they need to be stopped, put in prison, whatever it is you want, but they need to be stopped.
Do you ever just a couple more questions, I'm gonna get you out of here, and I appreciate you being here and being so honest. um do you ever like, do you have those moments where you feel like you are completely alone? I know you and your wife, but I mean, you folks, do you feel like we're completely alone? This is not happening as fast as we would like.
Yes, I mean that's a fair one. There are some days where it's hard to cope. There absolutely are. But I'll tell you I'll just share one of my coping mechanisms with you, and it's this. I feel that when you can't cope, the best way you can get around it is to find someone who's having a hard day and just make it easier for them. Hence the homeless thing and things like that. In one way, it's helps me as much as it helps them. Um, if you can find someone that needs help when you're feeling bad and you can concentrate on their problem instead of yours, it makes the world a better place. But it just works.
Man, this is such a great advice, man. And I remember being in jail, man. Back in the day, I used to get in trouble, and I was in jail, and and I'm obviously, you don't want to be in jail. I'm bitching, I'm moaning, I'm like, not having a good time, man. And this older man comes up to me and he says, "Look, that it could always be worse." I'm looking at him. I'm like, I'm ready to punch him in the face. I'm like, what are you talking? Like, how can this be worse? I'm in a cage, man. Like, how? And this kid, they bring in this kid. He was much younger than us. He was 18 years old, and because it's a cell of like 40 men or whatever, and this kid is crying. So I'm like, okay, I'll ask him, what's going on. And I start talking to him, and he's like, look, man, I just got arrested. My girlfriend is pregnant. She got put out on the street. We have no family, no mom, no dad, no nobody. So he's like, I'm in jail. My girlfriend is pregnant out on the streets, and I don't know what to do. And at that moment, I realized, like, oh my God, that there are situations that are much, harder. Um, so it's wonderful advice, but to tell you honestly, Alan, man, like, it's because like me, I think the way why we connected is because we're kind of going through a lot of the same things, man. Because this is why I even started the project of, the podcast and the channels and everything, and it's been, so hard, man. I tried all these different things, and but I'm not giving up, and you are actually my inspiration. um you're one of my biggest inspirations for this. uh what I'm gonna get you out of here. I just want to ask you this. How do you see how do you see all of this developing? If you could you know look a bit in the future, and be like, a prophet for a little bit, how do you see this going down um in the next 6 months to a year, man?
Okay, and we have very definite plans that we're putting into place at the moment. I'm not going to sort of discuss them because every time I do, it pre-wards the other side, and they get the opportunity to cover up and things like that. But this will get a lot more awareness. And when I say a lot more awareness, I mean a lot more awareness. But we go from there. If people are apathetic and they really don't care about this, what can you actually do? It's terrible, but lots of people do look the other way.
Yeah, man, I'm really glad to hear this, and I just want to tell you that when I started this thing, man, we started as a media company. Like, we went, obviously it was a mission. It's always been a mission, but we wanted to step into it and be professional and not just be some bloggers, and because we wanted to build something that's long lasting, and then when I seen that, it wasn't going as fast as it could, I started to reach out because I have connections, to people that are actually are viral online, and they have followings and everything. And then I realized that then also, we're being blocked, we're being stopped. And all I want to say is and I'll let you finish after this, that Alan, you are our inspiration. I don't want to blow smoke in your behind right now, but knowing your story, and knowing how hard you have fought, and knowing that you are still here, you're still fighting. Check it, man. You're not just fighting for these kids. You're fighting for all of us. When all of this said and done, you are fighting for humanity. I don't want to put this big, cross on your back or whatever, but I'm just telling you from my perspective, you are fighting for all of us. You and your wonderful wife, y'all are fighting for all of us, man. And you are an inspiration. You help me keep going, man. When I'm in those hard times, man, I remember like shit, man. Look, Alan is still here. He's still boxing it out. He's still doing this. I'm like, it's still the championship rounds, man. So I want to thank you. I cannot thank you enough. And we got to keep going, man. We got to keep going. And I know that all of the words that you have said today will reach God's ears, as we say in Ukraine. So that's all for me today, and I'll let you take us out of here, and tell us what you need to tell us.
I think the important thing to realise here is I'm not just the only one. There are many whistleblowers, not only in my country, in your country, both be it America and Ukraine, all throughout the world, that are trying to raise people's awareness. There has to come a day when the awareness is actually raised to a stage where people go, well, we're not putting up with it anymore. It's just wrong. And that's what it seems to be. I mean, there are some stories. Chris's story will be out fairly shortly. Probably take her another month or so. When it comes out, there are some stories in there that are just beyond belief. It's just hard to comprehend what might well have gone on in there. I released a video last night, and this is what a bit nobody. I had about a year off. I was putting together a site called JFTC 2018. You've seen it. It took me a lot longer. It took me about 12 months to put every little bit in pieces. It's still not complete. But when I did do it, there was about I took the security off the site for it's password protected, took the security off the site for maybe 2 days. And when I went back to look at it, using DuckDuckGo, I don't know if you've got that, the privacy browser, I typed in JFTC, and as I did, all the people that were looking at it come up. And one of them was my former next door neighbour. How they're looking at a site that was password protected, I don't know. So I put that video up yesterday just to let everybody know.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I just want to tell you that I kind of took a break that is not a break for a couple of weeks because I'm reformatting absolutely everything. There are a lot more channels that are gonna go out there. So we're here, man. We're fighting. And all right. So listen, thank you for being here. I'm sorry about your microphone.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah,
I
please.
didn't make the major point, did I? After the website went down, they knew we were making it and everything, right? It was after that that the fire at Sophia Nails burnt the place to the ground just before we released the website, everything that was on it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. If people would only know how many things go on behind the scenes, even with something like I had the whole internet, everything stop working like this. This is beyond like sci-fi, man. This is beyond like a romance novel, man. this is this could only be reality. So Alan, thank your wife, because again, I think it's so I'm gonna say it, man. I think it's so badass when you have a woman that is standing by you like this. Obviously you earned a woman like that. She earned a man like you. But I think it's so badass. You two are just an inspiration to all of us, man. And all I could do is smile, because they're not gonna keep us down, man. Alan, thank you so much, man. Let's keep in touch, and I'm here, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks for giving us the time. I mean, it's appreciated. Every word that you say, every effort that you make. I mean, we always get views, they lead on to other views. Eventually, we'll get there.
Yeah. Thank you, Alan, man. You're the man. Thank you so much, man. Much love to you, and we're gonna be in touch on WhatsApp, man.
Say good night.
Later,
Good night,
buddy.
man.
Prove to me that you are alive.